Hey, what's up? Andrew Kramer here, videocopilot.net, and welcome to a pretty practical tutorial on using optical flares with some live action footage. Now, we'll be doing some 2D tracking and just talking about how you might integrate lens flares into your live action footage and maybe why. So in this example, we have this guy, Samir actually, shot this with us, so I appreciate that. And he's using a tactical gun, and I think it's actually MP5. I don't know anything about guns, but I play video games occasionally. So the lens flare is on, and it almost looks like the light's on, even though it's not really. And we have a few kind of different examples of what that might look like. We also have this car scene where this vehicle's driving down. It's, could be more subtle. And the idea with something like this is to add, a little bit of style, maybe focus your attention on a specific car. And sometimes when you shoot digitally, the lens flares don't show up. And so using sort of a film-like lens flare can kind of lend itself to making the scene a little bit more realistically, shot on film, that is. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we would set this up. So we have this gun footage. We'll bring it out here. And we need to track this little tactical light. So we'll bring up the tracker controls. And I've got them right here. We'll select our footage. We'll actually create a null object real quick for our target. So we'll choose track motion. Brings up the layer, and we can then try to track the tactical light here. Now, it's not the perfect point to track, but see what happens here. So we'll outline it there, and then we'll use the track controls. We'll animate back. Now, it lost it right there. So we'll go back to before it lost it. Maybe scale this up. Let's go frame by frame here to see if it holds. So not quite. So what you can do in this case where it's not quite tracking perfectly is you can track it by hand. So if we just kind of push through here, we can say, you know what, let's move this about there. And more or less, we're just hand tracking and making some adjustments. You can even just go frame by frame here and move the track point to the center. And this is good, when you don't have a, an acceptable kind of track point. And we really only need to do it when the light source no longer becomes clear. So as it kind of goes back here, at this point, there's probably not going to be a lens flare at all. So we're probably good to go in this case. So we'll see. We'll go back forward here, and we'll try to automate it here again. And that looked pretty good. So we've hand tracked. Sometimes things go out of the frame, and you can just tweak it. And then when we edit the target, we'll select that null object and apply our tracking data, X, Y. Okay. So we've got our little thing there. Close our tracker. And then we'll create a new solid. And we'll choose OK. We'll choose Effect, Video Copilot, Optical Flares. And I think there's a preset somewhere in here called Tack Light. And obviously any flare could be a tack light, but we'll use this one. Just has a lot of little spots and kind of an interesting looking flare. You see this red element? It runs horizontally only, if you can see that. So we'll hit OK. We'll set the transfer mode to screen, and then we'll link the light position to our null. And how we'll do that is we'll hit P, and then we'll bring up the effects for optical flares. We can do it from up here. We alt-click on the position here, and then we take the pick whip, and we bring it down here to the position of the null. So now that light looks pretty good. So might scale this down a little bit so it fits in there. We could, you know, tint it, maybe even go with a different look, a little bit more natural. And then when it gets obscured over here, just for the sake of simplicity, we could just fade it out from the brightness here. You know, maybe do that a little bit later. Let's see. So that looks pretty good. We could, you know, make it bigger. We could make it red, so we could go in here, kind of make it look like a laser, although it's clearly a tactical light. But I'll let you guys figure that one out. You know, one of the things with this smaller lens flare is that there's a really bright core object, and using a glow element with you know, a low gamma will get rid of the softness so that it's sort of like a core hard light, and that's good for making that sort of interior bright spot. And looks like our tracking data fails there, but that really helps you know, sell the hot spot in that light. Okay, well, I hope this helps you out. We'll see you in a bit.